Some people have two or three real friends, others don't have anyone they'd really call close. No group chat, blowing up all weekend, no packed social calendar, and they genuinely don't feel like anything is missing. From the outside, that looks like a problem, but sometimes it points to a quiet strength. Their sense of self doesn't depend on being watched, invited, liked, or approved of. They still want connection, they just don't need a crowd to feel real, and nobody has to clap for it to count. And by the end of this video, you'll have a way to tell whether that strength is genuine or just avoidance. People often assume a small circle comes from a wound, social anxiety, past rejection, some missing piece of charm. Sometimes it does, but not always. And social exhaustion isn't the whole answer either. It explains why someone spends time alone. It doesn't explain why they can feel so steady there, instead of immediately searching for something or someone to fill the silence. Most people, without ever noticing it, run a constant background check on their own worth against everyone around them. Who texted back and how fast? Who got invited and who didn't? Did the room go a little quiet when they spoke? People track these things more than they'd ever admit out loud. And yeah, how many likes did the photo get before they finally made themselves stop checking? For some people, that whole background process just runs quieter, with a lot less control over what they do next. Researchers Edward Deci and Richard Ryan developed a framework that helps explain this self determination theory. One of its core ideas is autonomy, acting from values you genuinely endorse instead of chasing approval or simply obeying pressure. That doesn't mean needing fewer people. The same theory is clear that we all still need real connection, that part never goes away. It just means other people's opinions have a lot less control over what you do next. You still want connection, you just stop treating attention as proof that you matter and stop outsourcing that judgment to whoever happens to be paying attention that week. When this strength is genuinely present, it shows up in small, unglamorous ways. They don't get swept into a plan just because everyone else already said yes. They'll keep working on something nobody's watching a hobby, a skill, an idea with the same effort whether anyone notices or not, which can honestly look a little strange from the outside. They don't feel an empty Saturday with people just to kill the silence. A message left unread for a few hours doesn't spiral into a story about what it means. And they can say the unpopular thing in a room without replaying it at 3 a.m. Communication researcher Jeffrey Hall tried to estimate how long friendship takes to deepen. His study suggested roughly 50 hours to move from acquaintance to casual friend, around 90 hours to become friends, and more than 200 hours to become close friends. Those aren't fixed deadlines, but they show how much repeated time real closeness can require. So if you only have a couple of real friends, that's not a failure to connect. It might just mean you use the word friend a lot more carefully than most people do. There's also a simpler piece to this. Some people just pick up on more in every interaction the tone, the tension, the gap between what someone says and what they actually mean. Researchers who study this call it sensory processing sensitivity. It may make socializing cost more minute for minute, but that only explains some of the tiredness. It doesn't explain the stability underneath it. We've covered the energy side of this in another video. Why socializing itself can feel more draining for some people. But here, the harder question is what your independence is actually protecting. There's a real difference between someone who's genuinely steady on their own and someone who's just avoiding the risk of ever needing anyone. One of those is peace. The other's a door that never opens, just dressed up as independence so it sounds better. Choosing a small circle and still feeling like it's enough most days, that's real strength. But if getting close to anyone feels too dangerous to even risk, that's something else, and it deserves an honest look, not a compliment. Ask yourself which one actually describes you, not which one sounds better out loud, especially before you turn it into a personality. Having few friends isn't the superpower. The superpower is knowing who you are when nobody is watching, approving, inviting, or applauding, and still leaving the door open for the right people. Be honest. Does your small circle come more from peace, selectivity, or protection? Tell us in the comments. And subscribe to the Mind Made Simple if this is the kind of thing you like thinking about.